Okay, so you have two things that are here. The write-up audio and basically the visual climate or the storyboards or reference moods, whatever they're called. But basically, we'll just, for the purposes of keeping him simple, we will call them storyboards. Um, so typically a recording and then some images. So what we're gonna do is, um, as soon as we'll go one by one, but when I select you, we'll go over your audio recordings and your written words first, and you can kind of talk us through that. And then we will go over your storyboards, and then when we go over the storyboards, you basically will have to, you know, talk us through it as we see the storyboard. So we'll figure it out by the time we start who's gonna, how it's gonna go. Um, but any volunteers to go first? No volunteers. Anybody going once, going twice? Okay, yay. All right, so I got Jordan and then Jax. Let's start with Jordan. All right, here, Jordan, you're up first. Okay. Um, so again, we'll start off with the written, I mean the visual, I keep messing this up. We'll start off with the um part that is the audio. But before we start the audio, you, the person who is doing the who's project it is, you're going to basically talk us through it, and then we'll play it once, and then just basically talk us through it, and then we'll look at the PDF for the development benchmark as well. Let me download the PDF so that it is ready to go on my end. I hate Adobe Acrobat because it's so slow. All right, Jordan, you ready?
Yep.
Okay,
Can you
so
hear me?
yes, we can.
Okay, perfect.
Um,
Um,
Go ahead.
so my idea is I generally have a very consistent routine, like every single day. So I kind of wanted my like animation to be about that, since I feel like it can play on like a fun contrasting element of like, oh, I do it because I like progress. I do it because like all these positive reasons, and then the negative reasons of I'm just a very anxious person, so I need like something to keep me stable, and that's what it is.
Okay,
Uh,
interesting.
so.
And
Yeah, and for my like I can go into visuals just like a little bit.
hmm
Like I wanted to focus on like oh like I myself like same angle, like same like kind of shot distance of me doing different actions, but like the environment around me like changes. Like oh the stuff on my desk changes, like the background color to show like the passage of time and stuff
hmm
like that.
So we're looking at it like this way, and then kind of like this, but um, basically everything changes throughout the day because you have minor differences in the day, and then you want to show environment in the afternoon and passage of time at night. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And so a lot of this is going to be you on a desk and then changing items on a desk. And then what's the thing with the exercise? Is that something like, in the morning or afternoon, or is it something you do like a couple of times a day?
I stretch like every single night because if I don't, my legs hurt. And originally, I wanted all of my things to be like at a desk. Like, oh, I go on my computer every day to do like my flashcards, and then oh, I go to my iPad to do my drawing every day. And I couldn't
Mhm.
think of a third thing. I'm like, oh, I can do the stretching thing since I do that every day, and it can have like a similar like angle or like side profile.
I also like the fact that you go from like being stationary and sedentary, like on a laptop, on a device, to like something physical and active, physical active for the most part. So it kind of like, I love the word juxtaposition, but it kind of juxtaposes the, I'm sitting down in front of a computer and desk, or I'm like walking around with a device that I'm looking at or paying attention to, juxtapose that with the fact that now I'm, stretching or doing something that is helpful to my body, that, is otherwise not sitting down or being stationary. So I really like I really like that. It's like, I couldn't figure out something else, so let me do something when that I um typically do. Like, and you said you do that at night before you sleep, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have a question. Not your medical profession and not to get like all, you know, um advicey on you or anything, but have you tried eating banana?
Yes. So my legs just hurt randomly because I have this thing called restless leg syndrome where
Okay.
my legs will just like randomly hurt unless I'm like walking, but I can't
Yeah.
like walk for like 4 hours straight when I'm about to go to bed. So I'll just uh like exercise for a little bit and then stretch and then like take some medicine and then I'm good. So I
Okay.
just stretch
Yeah.
every night because of that. And it helps like my
Gotcha.
flexibility, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah, definitely with the flexibility. And you're too young to like have flexibility. Y'all are too young to have flexibility problems. Talk to yourself like 20 years later when you're my age and you're like, remember when I was so flexible and young and now everything is boring. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. Things get exciting before they get boring when you get older. But I like like I said, I like the whole change of scenery in that sense, like, laptop, desktop, a literal desktop, and then tablet, or another device, and then doing something physical at the end of the day. So, as far as your written stuff, your written things, I consider myself a very consistent person. So you're the kind of person that's very like, you're on a schedule kind of, and you do the same kind of things daily on a daily basis and things like that, right?
Yep, even on
Okay.
weekends.
Oh wow. You're very much like my wife. I'm completely opposite. I'm just like whatever, like just go with the flow because but that's because also of my upbringing. It's not, I've been in a situation where every time I try to get into a consistent thing, stuff changes beyond my beyond my control. And it's like I just give in. I'm like, you know what? I can't change it. I might as well give in. So because of that, I'm like the least consistent person. I mean, it's like the most consistent out of everything is like me showing up to my classes that I teach or my job. But other than that, I'm just like, whatever. Um, so, and my wife is kind of concerned because she's like, your daughters are becoming like you and blah, blah, blah. And now, like, don't worry, they'll figure their own stuff out soon. So every day you make a little progress towards your work, hobbies, and health. That is good. And that's kind of like, one of the key things that we should all be doing. Some days I'm driven by progress. I enjoy seeing my progress over time. I enjoy seeing how far I've come and knowing my effort is paying off. That's good. Other days I'm driven by anxiety. I know that feeling. I think we can all relate to that feeling. When I'm not doing anything, I start to feel restless and feel like I'm falling behind. Yes, I get that feeling as well. I can relate to that too. Like I have to, again, my consistency, I guess, is I'm doing everything inconsistently, but I'm always trying to do something because I feel that like, if I'm not doing something, then I'm like just wasting time or I'm not being productive or something. It's not that you all have to be productive all the time, but just thinking of like, am I doing stuff that I like to do that is making me not so filled with anxiety. And in your case, having a routine helps with stability, even though if the world is overwhelming, having something that you can control helps helps things feel less uncertain to you. And I totally understand that. So very good work. I want to go back to your visual climate again and just to say like so you're going to start off with like basically you at the desk at the laptop and then kind of focus on repetition of action, and then the differences between the day, afternoon, and night will be highlighted basically based on your different activities. And you said things will change um, as the animation progresses on your desk, right?
Yes.
And is that your actual desk?
No, I just got that image off of Google since
Uh,
my current desk is currently not that nice.
okay, I was gonna say this is you really but okay, that makes sense. I could obviously this is not you, right? That's not
No.
what is I completely forgot the I can't believe I used to hang out there all the time, but I completely forgot the student center name. What is it called at George Mason? What is the place called? The Johnson Center? Is that what it is?
Johnson Center.
What did you say?
Johnson Center.
Johnson Center. Okay, yeah. You know how I like the Johnson Center in the fact that it had the libraries like over there as part of the thing. So you know you can definitely go to there and take some pictures or just use random like library pictures or your local library. Fun fact, when I was a graduate student at Mason, I used my local library more than the Johnson Center because I got tired of them not having the books I needed, but my local library did. And that was one of those frustrating issues. I'm like, come on, they're supposed to have, it's a university library. They're supposed to have everything. My public library down the street had more than they did. But of course, um, libraries these days don't really have books anymore, which is weird. They have more computers than books. All right, let's listen to the audio. You want to lead us into it, or should I just play it?
You can just play. I think everything I said kind of already leads into it, so you
Okay.
can just play it.
All right. And you say I had to re record it. I hope you're feeling better. Your voice obviously sounds better, so I think you are feeling better.
Yeah, I had to record it this morning since I tried to record it last night and it was just not going well.
Okay. I mean, you could use other things as well, but obviously, it's better to have your voice. But I had a student last semester who used AI, not for the first project, but for the second one, for the um for the words part. All right, let's listen.
I consider myself to be a very consistent person.
Hold on, I'm going to. Can you all hear it? It seems a little low, so you may have to turn up your volume on your end because I can't control the volume here, and I'm assuming it's like as loud as it can be. So just turn up the volume on your end, everyone.
I consider myself to be a very consistent person. Every day, I try to make a little progress towards my work, hobbies, and health. Some days, I'm driven by progress. I enjoy seeing my progress over time. I enjoy seeing how far I've come and knowing my effort is paying off. Other days, I'm driven by anxiety. When I'm not doing anything, I start to feel restless and like I'm falling behind. Having a routine helps with stability. Even when the world is overwhelming, having something that I control helps things feel less uncertain. I consider myself to be a very consistent.
Awesome. So I like the recording, and you definitely did a good job with like pacing and just announcing. I can see why you wanted to re-record it. This is more it's more, I like the pacing of it much better. I mean, not much better. I have nothing to compare it to, but I like the pacing of it. So good work, Jordan. What well, your next step is going to be basically to put together about a 10-minute example of the animation. Um, but have you thought about like what kind of style of animation you're going to use? Are you going to do like completely digital or something like in between Procreate and other software, or what is your plan?
I was planning on doing like a mix of like traditional 2D animation like in Procreate or like this other app that I use called ToonSquid that's also just a 2D animation program. And
Uh-huh.
then having maybe some of the backgrounds be like take real images but like put a filter on them in Photoshop so they look more maybe not like cartoony but more stylized and like also have the background be like the colors I put in my visual climate of like oh the day is like bright and blue and the afternoon is more like purplish and yellow and
And
have
then
it yeah so a mix of 2D animation and then real images but like stylized using Photoshop filters.
Okay, and then I like how you are representing the different times of the day with the overall like color difference because it helps you create mood as well, that color. So good work. So thank you, Jordan. And I think anybody have want to add anything to it to Jordan? Anyone? Suggestions, comments? Yay, nay? Ace says it's great. Everybody else is
Thank you.
probably everybody else. I'm waiting for someone else. I think everybody else is probably still waking up. I get it.
Hey, my
Um,
idea is just that good. Nothing else to say.
I mean, it is good. You've thought about it. It's not that it's um it's what do I want to say? It's good, but it's well thought out. It's like fleshed out in the sense of how you're going to go about doing it. So I think it works really well. Mansion says, I like the idea of your passage of time, and showing the passage of time through the environment. So, yeah, great work. And yes, it's one of those ideas where, again, y'all, this first project is way op wide open, and there's no right or wrong. It's just, how much of yourself, of your identity, you are trying to basically get across through um, your identity text and the visuals. Um, I think the hardest part of this will be probably the actual animation work, like doing the actual work, because I think most of y'all are coming in with some great ideas. So, thank you, Jordan, for being the first one. Sasha says it's relatable. The guy holding his head is so me. This one right here with the anxiety. Yeah, we all have that frustrating feeling. I don't know. Some of y'all might have it once a day. Some of y'all might have it a couple of times a week. Some of y'all are lucky to have that feeling once a week, once a month. So, but it does relate to all of us. It will relate to your audience in that sense because, we all have that anxiety, frustration feeling. So, very good work, Jordan. And thank you for being the first one. You kind of helped set the tone of the critiques, or rather the idea development presentations today. So thank you as well for that, being the brave first volunteer
Thank
as
you.
well. All right, we're gonna do this thing where we give everybody a round of applause after a virtual round of applause after they share their ideas because because it's stuff I want to celebrate with y'all. The other thing you said, what is it called? Toon Squid?
Yes, I just use it since it's a animation
Oh,
app for like iPads,
iPad.
and the
Uh-huh.
Procreate is not the greatest at animation.
No, it isn't. I've had a lot of students struggling, and I'm like, what I try to do is just when it comes to animation design, visual stuff, I'm like, think of it as like water flowing. It's going to take the least amount of path of least resistance. And so, whatever is easiest for you to pick up. That's, again, path of least resistance. So, thanks, Jordan, and great work. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with for the idea development, for the next part, which is the benchmark, um, work in progress benchmark. And I think Megan, you said 10 minutes or 10, did I say 10 minutes? I meant 10 seconds. Sorry if I said 10 minutes. If your animation is 10 minutes, wow, that's going to be really long, but yeah, I meant 10 seconds. All right, let's go Jax. Let's see. Jax, where are you? I gotta go searching for you now. Over here. Um, there you are. All right, Jax. Let's look at your visual climate first, and you can kind of go through that, and then we'll listen to well, talk us through your visual climate, and then we'll listen to your recording.
Um, okay, so I took a lot of photos, basically all of them from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But it all has to do with my audio, which is, my identity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, actually if you want to scroll down, I can tell you where it kind of starts. Um, Okay, so I'm a huge Mario fan. I love Legos as well. I'm like a huge, Simpsons guy. So I want to start by showing kind of like a knight climbing up like this hill,
Mm-hmm.
and then the camera will kind of like whip pan, and then we'll see the castle, which is like that Mario shot where you can see the castle.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the shot idea that I'm going for.
Is it a screenshot, by the way, from the Mario movie?
It's one I found online, but yeah.
Okay, because I can't, nowadays it's hard to tell if it's from the movie or the game.
Yeah, no, so that one's from the movie, and then the one below and the bottom left is from the game.
Okay.
I don't know which one, um, but yeah. And then and then after that, I'm basically go into like little bits about myself. So like how I'm close with my family, how I like watching movies, which is that Simpsons shot, how I like taking like long walks, which is the shots, the two at the top that I really
Mm-hmm.
like. Then conversations, just deep conversations with people, um, which is the that two shot right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
And are you going to use this night with the individual frames as the walk cycle or something, or is that just like, kind of like a placeholder for you to kind of think about animating um the night?
Yeah, it's a placeholder. So like I said when I introduced myself, I was like I'm a more of a 3D guy. So coming
Mm-hmm.
into this is all new to me.
Oh,
Some of
okay.
it's new, some of it's not. So, some of the workflow is kind of the same, some of it's not.
You have
Um,
to remind me again because I forget. Like I can't even remember what happened like half an hour ago. But you said you're a 3D guy, person. What software? I know we talked about this last week, but what
mhm.
software do you use? Was it Blender that you were working with?
Yeah, yeah. Blender is
Okay.
like I want to say my main. Um, but I'm trying. So for this, something I'm gonna try using is this thing called Flip a Clip, which is like
Uh-huh. I've
it's like a
I've
yeah, it's kind of like just like a 2D drawing thing on your iPad.
yeah.
Um, but I'm gonna try it. I don't know. This is all new, so I'm gonna just go for it. But yeah, I'd
Yeah,
like
experiment.
Lego Knight.
That's
That's like the idea.
Sorry, go ahead. I was talking over you. What did you say about the idea?
No, it's just like the soldier, the knight. That's kind of the whole idea of what I want to go for.
Okay. I didn't realize you said Lego, Mario, and Simpsons. It's like three of my things that I have in common as well. I still have, I don't open my Legos. I just buy them and keep them. And my friend was like, "Are you ever gonna do your Legos?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, one of these days, hopefully I'll retire and then I'll have a lot of time and then I can do Legos then." That's what I'm saving it for. But I'm a Lego collector. So that's really cool that I really like the and have you thought about style? Are you gonna make it like that Lego style and kind of combine it with like that Mario kind of style?
I mean, I honestly haven't given it much thought. I'm probably gonna like try a first like few frames here and there, see what I'm comfortable with. Um, but I kind of do want like the shape, I guess, of the character to be more of a Lego style build. I think it'd be kind of cool and unique, especially if it's like 2D, you know.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Um, but I don't
I
know.
know.
I'm just gonna try random stuff, see if it works.
Okay. Yeah, I totally know what you mean. And again, like I said early as I opened this up class today's week up with it's your time to experiment. So definitely I'm looking forward to like what kind of experimentation you do. Um
Mhm.
one of the things you all which I really like about The Simpsons, did you ever notice, if you watch The Simpsons from the very beginning, did you all notice that the TV changed? They went from a CRT TV to a flat screen about 10 around 2010 or 2008, something like that. Did you all notice that?
I didn't notice that, but
It was a big thing when it happened because back then it was like we got our first big screen TV. I think it was 2009 is because the FCC didn't the FCC switched to HGTV digital broadcast in the end of 2009. It was like one of those things we were waiting forever. If you were you know, older back then, you will remember this. Um, and because I used to watch The Simpsons religiously up until about 6 years ago. Basically until my kids happened. But I used to watch The Simpsons religiously, and I was like, wait, they upgraded their TV just like we did. So watch it. If you watch The Simpsons before 2008, you'll see that they have the regular CRT TV, and then all the Simpsons episode after like 2010, they switched to the flat panel. Interesting, like little tidbit kind of thing that you never pick up. All right. I should have had the write-up open while you were discussing it, but I didn't. So let's go right to your audio and listen to that, and then it's basically gonna be the same as your um, written part, right?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I added sound effects and like
Oh,
music here
nice.
just
Okay.
because I have an idea of like what I want for each like section.
Hmm.
So it might not make sense right now, but like yeah, you'll definitely hear my write up.
Okay. All right, let's listen to Jax's write up.
I see myself as an ambitious Iranian who's deeply creative and always observing the world around me. Being both a son and a brother has shaped me into someone who is loyal and protective of the people I care about. I find joy in late night movies, meaningful conversations, quiet walks, and most importantly, the comfort of my family.
Very nice. I really like the audio really helps to enhance kind of let that overall feel good mode. Is that what your or mood, I should say? Is that what you were going for, kind of, Jax?
Yeah, that feel good. Yeah.
Hmm. And I like that you expressed your identity. Like, I was when I was in arts class, I was encouraged to express my identity as a Bangladeshi immigrant, and I totally, kind of did that, but it was like one of those weird things where I was like, it's not what I really wanted to do in my artwork, but it helps. And then it became a thing where like everybody's like, oh, they're expressing that, and it became kind of overwhelming. So, but I like that you're expressing your identity, and your background, and mentioning that you're an Iranian, I should say, and that adds just a little bit extra kind of personal touch and meaningfulness to it, you know. Are you first generation immigrant, if I may ask?
Well, so it's basically through my parents. So they both moved to the US when they were like, I think they were like 7 and 9,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
I was born here. So it's
Okay. So you're American Iranian or Iranian American. Um,
yeah.
Ironically, you're the second. I had a last semester. I also had another student in this class who was Iranian, and he's the one who really like did a lot of animations based on like movement, like exercise, swimming, dancing.
Hmm.
And it was really like music driven, and it was cool. But not to say that, I'm not comparing you, but I'm just saying like it's just interesting when you are bringing your background identity into the animation and expressing yourself that way as well. Any comments for Jax? Anyone? Claudia says the audio is good. The audio is good, and I really like the choice of music editing. Like I said, it adds to the whole feel goodness of it, and the visual climate. I can tell, like, it will when you combine that with the audio and the music that you've edited into there, um, or composed, I should say, into there. It works really well, and I think it'll work really well. I can visualize it with your references. Um, Jordan says, I think the night idea is fun. Yeah, the night idea is fun. I think you can have a lot of fun with the whole thing as well because your animation is very playful sounding and things like that. So I really like it. All right, let's give Jax, a round of applause, y'all. Oh my goodness, it's 11:22 already. I think we need to go faster. All right, who wants to go next? I lost everybody in the chat. Darian, don't bother to open it. They're going to be worth a lot of money in about when you get older. Okay, Claudia. All right, let's do Claudia and then Sungho. By the way, if you have, I forgot to mention this last week, but if you have a nickname that you go by, please let me know. And I'll make a note of that because very important to me at least that I call you, by your preferred names. All right, Claudia, walk us through it. I know you have your written part here, but we'll listen to it in a minute, but go ahead and walk us through it real
Okay,
quick.
so I am pretty sick right now, so if I sound funny, that's why. But pretty much, um, my audio is like pretty positive, and so I wanted to reflect that, with like the colors and the visuals. I'm not fully sure exactly what I want to, like what my storyboard wants to look like, but like I want to include like flowers as like a representation of like love and life, um and like use that as like the main like
The main like driver
focus.
of yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh. I like
um
that. One
mhm.
thing I will say, I love the use of like plants in general, flowers, because they kind of represent life, death, and rebirth,
Yeah.
you know? Mhm.
um but yeah, I'm not fully sure like what exactly I want to do. I like because I talk about in my audio about being like resilient, and I feel like flowers like they can be tough. Like I swear like you see like the most beautiful flowers on like the side of the road, and that must be like a tough life.
Growing on concrete. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
So I feel like that's like I think that's where that came from, like the
Uh-huh.
choice of like flowers. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and like use that um as much as I can, I guess.
No, that makes sense. And when I was an undergrad at the other George Washington University, I was actually a bio major, but I didn't want to go into animal sciences, so I went into botany and plant sciences and ecology. And I fell in love with plants and I never looked back.
Yeah.
So I totally get that, and that's one of the things I love and also the bright colors. Are these your artwork or are they just
No, I just found these online.
but you totally use them as kind of the inspiration to
Yeah.
do that style of, with the textures and the solid colors.
Yeah.
I like that inspiration. And then explain to me this image, or is it going to make
Um,
sense when we hear the audio?
no, it's not. I just okay, because I mentioned like a lot of like love in mine.
Uh-huh.
And so the I don't know, like tell her you love her. Like I just feel like that sets the mood for me. And so
Okay.
I just wanted to put it in there, like more for myself, just so that like I can set the mood and like be inspired by that.
Okay. And I love that you found this image. I don't know where you found it, but it goes with that bright color
Yeah.
concept that you're going for. And then it kind of becomes dark over, not dark, but kind of gray over here. But then there's like,
Yeah.
more brightness. I don't know if I mean, I know these are kind of just visual representations, but if we're looking at it from left to right, we kind of
Yeah.
see that it's bright and then kind of becomes sad gray, and then it becomes
Yeah.
bright again. So, you did that intentionally, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good work. Great work. I really like the visual representations. And now let's go ahead and hear your audio.
An ambitious daughter designed by love. She loves everything about love. Love allows her to see both the possibilities and hardships of the world. Her family grounds her, which in turn fuels her drive to explore. Over time, she has developed a thick skin through her love of discovering purpose and growth in the face of life's obstacles. She's resilient, yet leads with grace. She thrives on new possibilities, always listening to her heart and intuition.
Awesome. I hope you all were able to hear that. Again, turn your volume up. I think these uploaded recordings are kind of low. I'm going to start downloading them and see if I can pump the volume up on that. Um, but it definitely fits with your theme of the visuals, which I, again, really like and appreciate in terms of,
Thank you.
and I really in this day and age with what's going on in our, country right now, I think everybody can use the message of love. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it's kind of not just speaks about you, but speaks about the times that we're going through as well.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Claudia, and great work.
Thank you.
Let's all give Claudia a round of applause, everyone. And if you have stuff to add, you can just, chime in the chat as we are, as someone is explaining or talking or speaking. Um, and I encourage that, participation. I know you can't always turn on the microphone and stuff, but you can always chat, type your comments and thoughts and suggestions in the chat. All right, next up is Sunho. Let's look at your idea benchmark.
Yeah, so to briefly explain about the written text, so I believe
Hmm.
everyone possess a diverse range of identities inside. And so focusing on that concept, like I wrote about how these identities benefit me as a designer.
Hmm.
So the motion that I will do is basically related, just using like a two, like a circles, which represent like a two different identities inside of me.
Kind of like yin yang in a way,
And
or
concept,
you
yeah.
know,
So I was
like
planning to use only like a two colors, like a black and white.
exactly. I was gonna say the black and white. Yeah.
It was kind of my concept, and yeah, that's my concept, and
I'm
there,
trying to read your notes here. It says, it,
yeah, kind of. Maybe I can read instead because I wrote on the my iPad, but
yeah, can you read it for us? Because
yeah,
it's really, mhm.
a second, please. I'll bring up the file.
You all and your iPads and stuff. When I was your age, I sound old, but when I was your age, we had paper and pencil.
Excuse me, sorry. Like it takes some time to. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I know
Mhm.
that's you gotta love technology where it's gotta load up. Paper and pencil doesn't have to load up.
It's kind of. I'm using the iPad, but still, for me, like I'm just using it because like I don't like to just erase on my desk and there's like a rubber like a eraser.
Yeah, I know what you mean. My
That's the reason why
daughter's
the iPad.
my my 8-year-old daughter's getting in that point where she's kind of like that too. She's like, I don't want to do. Oh, she's right here. You want to say hi? Oh, by the way, no school today, so we're all stuck with her. Um, do you have it up yet, Sungho?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
go
maybe
ahead. Mhm.
I'll read. So the first one is like so it's like a an optical illusion where the screen is filled with black and white spheres and
Okay.
background color changes, it loops. So once the like maybe I can okay, yeah, maybe I'll just read all just a moment. And the second one is it's just simple two circle push away and two circles keep switching the position and just yeah, pushing away.
This example, right? I mean, this scene right here is what reminded me. I was like, oh, you're going for the yin yang effect here, and it kind
Like
of
kinda, yeah. It says over there like two circles rotate in one big circle, but finally merge into one. Yeah.
into one like here.
So those are like a reference image that I found on the Pinterest, but
Uh-huh.
there's nothing like exactly saying what I'm planning to do. But yeah, these are the concept that I'm trying, just like yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Because yeah, you're not gonna find like the same concepts, sorry, y'all, the same images that and that's why you're going to be creating those actually, as the artist. So, that makes sense. Yeah.
Hmm. But the cell frame might be a little bit kind of simple, but I'm just trying to focus on the like a smooth motion. So yeah, that's my plan.
Okay. I like the simplicity of the black and white, and I think you should, that's gonna be one of your, and if I'm picturing it correctly, like visualizing it, it's gonna be one of your strong points is that the black and white and the juxtaposition of the images. Let me pull that back up. I just closed it. Why did I do that?
Yeah, but at least I will not make it boring. So yeah.
Oh, I totally believe you won't make it boring because we're gonna hear your audio in a second, and then we can totally, I won't say if it's boring or not. It's probably not boring. Why can't I download this? I used to be able to download it. Can I just right mouse? No. Okay, let's just play it here. It might be again, y'all, it might be a little low, so just turn up your speakers and let's go ahead and listen to Sungho's
I'm an
words.
artist. Within me, there are two identities. One is inner peace, and the other is inner conflict. They oppose and push each other away, but the moment they merge into one, I create true art. My goal and my desire are to unify the beauty and strengths of each identity to create art that resonates. This is me.
Excellent. I like that you are stressing, your the struggles to, help you create art or the struggles that you are going through or whatever, in that sense that you are using that to as inspiration for your work, right? That's the
Yeah,
if
that's
I got that correctly, that's like kind of
yeah.
the general
Mm.
idea.
Yeah, that's like a concept, yeah.
Hmm.
Or like
Okay.
inner conflicts and like inner peace makes me just like inspired and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think struggles and conflicts sometimes make us a better artist, to be honest. Like I just think of Vincent van Gogh and just because he was going crazy, and when he was doing all those cool things, and just how much struggle he was going through. I mean, come on, you all have think about how much struggle he was going through if you had to be crazy enough to chop off your own ear, right? That's a lot of mental anguish and frustration. So, just using that as an inspiration to get your visuals out there. I really like that kind of messaging.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh. Jordan says the concept is really creative and the black and white sounds very interesting because of the contrast. I agree with that. And that's one of the things I'm really, really looking forward to seeing in your animation benchmark is how you use the black and white to visually contrast and represent the struggle and the artwork and the bad part and the good part. So very good work, Sungho. Let's give Sungho a round of applause, everyone. Ace is keeping the juxtaposition count. I like that. Um, all right, next volunteer. I don't want to pick anybody. It's too early to go picking people. Anybody? Megan, thank you. I landed on you too, or landed on your submission, I should say. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the idea benchmark. You know what? I'm just going to download these. That way I can have the benchmark open while the audio is playing. But I do not like Adobe Acrobat. It's so clunky and slow. You would think that the original people that created PDFs would, pay attention to their software and make it better. Anyway, go ahead and walk us through it, Megan.
All right. So what I was kind of thinking for this was just kind of like having a specific moment in time. So this would all take place in like a living room or something like that at a table.
Hmm.
And it would be all covered in supplies and things like that. And it would just be like a collaging dance session. essentially. So
With
it's
the
like,
supplies, like
yeah,
appearing, reappearing different supplies, like books and stuff. Is that what you're kind of?
sort of, yeah, like you can kind of see it being fully made, but it's like that's not the main focus. The main focus is more of like the little character I have dancing to the side of
Uh-huh.
it. And I was thinking maybe it can start with like the light turning on, and then as it goes on, it might transform into a disco ball or just like get more vibrant and colorful. And I just think that it'd be like this cute little happy moment in time because usually the things that I write tend to get very depressing, and I just want some happiness here.
Oh, nice. Okay. And that for you, that's like trying something out of your maybe comfort zone as well, right?
Yeah, it is. Because, like, I have access to Adobe products through my dad's job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be using Adobe Animate, which is all new for me. So I'm just hoping it goes out good. I had a small crash course for it. So I'm going to try to go
Uh,
into that.
can I talk you out of that and get you to use Adobe After Effects?
After Effects, sure, I can probably download that instead.
Well, do both. And while you're at it, since you have access to it, do Adobe Character Animator as well.
Okay.
We're gonna touch on all of them, but I distinctly do not touch on Adobe Animate. I'll tell you later why, but it's not bad. It's not a bad thing, but just know that Adobe Animate is a Flash, Adobe Flash reincarnated as
Right.
an animation program. But I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just like, can I get you to look at After Effects instead? But again, whatever will make you feel comfortable. And I will give you all some resources in the production resource module. I have some already on some of my tutorials on Adobe After Effects, but also I will post some resources on Adobe Animate. The reason I kind of Adobe Animate is vector based all throughout, and it's kind of like frame by frame, whereas Adobe After Effects, it's kind of just, the all powerful granddaddy of them all, and you can do a bunch of different things. Um, Including vector animation, but it's very, very hard to do vector animation in Adobe After Effects as opposed to Adobe Animate. But that's just my little opinion from experience and stuff. But I will give you all some resources, not just for Megan, but also for everybody else, um, to hopefully help you all, um, learn more about the software and also improve your animation techniques. So, yeah, I'll give you, examples or rather, tutorials and stuff for both, um, animation products. But I like that, you start off with the light on and then it gradually goes from kind of this dark, almost black and white to this colorful, overly saturated, and then happy tone. Um, Ironically, that Century book, I actually have that book. My boss gave that to me like 10 years ago. I saw that I was like, hey, I have that book. Um, anyway, so anything else you want to add before we look at the or hear the audio, Megan?
I mean, not really. It's more of a poetry format, which I think is kind of seen in how the script is laid out right next to the images.
Okay,
But that's
yeah.
kind of my main inspiration with that.
Okay, and it's gonna probably make a little bit more sense once we hear the audio. So let me cue that up.
I glued tomorrow to yesterday, paper moons and borrowed light, scraps never meant to fit, making something new. The radio crackles, bare feet answer. Scissors whisper maybe, tape holds what I can't yet say. I spin with the melody, glue still drying on my hands, hope learning my name as I try to learn it.
Nice. Could you explain to me the last part, hope learning my name as I try to learn it? That's an interesting,
Yeah.
um, words, sentence or statement to end with.
So one of the things that for like the whole identity thing that we did earlier, hopeful was one of the
Uh-huh.
words that I was kind of using with this. And I find like collaging to be a very like hopeful and joyous experience because it's like it's putting things that never would have existed initially into your own reality, essentially. So
Ah,
I'm like trying to be hopeful and like
uh-huh.
trying to learn to understand it, but it's like hope is essentially a two-way street in some ways because you're trying to understand hope, but hope also needs to understand you, kind of.
Correct. Hmm.
So that's kind of like what my mind is. That I did use AI to help make this. I'm gonna be frank about it. That's because the things I write are so depressing and I needed it to not be depressing. But
I got you.
I like included a few words in there and collaged with it so it's more of my words as well. So it's a little mix of both.
Hmm. And there's, no bad thing. The only bad thing I would say about using AI to help you get over your hump or just to give it ideas, because, you can't always have access to friends or um, people, but you have access to AI. The only bad thing I would say about using AI, every time I use it, I just think about the environment. That's totally bad thing. Like, oh, they're wasting a lot of water. They're wasting a lot of electricity. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with using AI to just help you get over the hump. Jordan says, out of curiosity, have you thought about adding quiet music to the audio because of the melody dancing themes?
I have. I was thinking about it a few times. I mean, more of it's like thinking of what music to add because I can just add a song that I actually listen to, but like an instrumental version,
Hmm.
and just have like maybe gradually increase the audio with that as time goes on. But that is something I am considering.
Okay, good. Um, I think I like it. Anybody else? Any other suggestions? All right, if there's nothing else, let's give Megan a round of applause and thank you, Megan, for sharing. And I'm going to say this for each of y'all, and I really mean it. I'm looking forward to seeing the, um, you know, uh, work in process, in a couple of weeks. Because all of these ideas, again, they're just because it's all so personal and it relates to your artwork but also your personality, your feelings. It's each one is going to be amazing in my opinion, but also from seeing students in past courses and stuff just come up with something like that. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So thank you, Megan. Next up is Mansion. Sorry, Mansion. I know you said you wanted to go earlier. I completely forgot that you were um, going earlier. You
That's
had
all good.
volunteered. Uh, Trying to find you here. Let me see. Oh, here we go. All right, let's look at your um
So I kind of, for my animation, I kind of wanted to go for like a more like lighthearted, kind of whimsical thing. So maybe like a little bit cooking inspired. So it's just gonna be like a witch or a warlock cooking up a creature in a pot and just adding ingredients to it, and the creature ends up being me.
Oh, wow, okay. I was getting hungry until you said that creature ends up being me. Um Interesting. Why you? Is it because
Um,
you feel like you're in a constant pressure boiler, pressure cooker or something? Because I know some people like just, feel like that all the time, like they're always being boiled alive because of the pressures around them.
I feel I kind of looked at it from a different angle. I just kind
Uh-huh.
of thought of it as like there's a bunch of things that make up myself. So just like a stew has a bunch of ingredients to make up a like final dish,
Hmm.
there's a bunch of different elements that make up who I am. So I kind of re wanted to represent myself as I don't know, coming out of a stew.
Okay, that's much more positive and less dark. I was more thinking of like along the lines of cannibalism.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was also thinking of making like kind of a horror making a kind of horror themed, but I could probably save that for like a different project. I feel like it
No,
doesn't really
I
fit the tone.
definitely I like your idea better with the, different parts um your of you come together in a stew to make you as a whole person. I like that theme and concept. Which is why, I could have never guessed that because as soon as you said that's me in the stew, I was like, uh-oh, cannibalism. But that's not what you're going for. You're going for, creationism in the sense that you're being created through all these ingredients and then that's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's listen to your audio now. Uh,
I'm grateful, not
Oop, that's
loudly.
not the wrong person. Hold on. Oh, there we go. My display is acting a little funky. Um, there we go.
To make a mansion type creature, you would need these elements: a bit of quiet, a handful of hardworking, a pinch of friendly. To invoke a love of photography and a love for movies. To give rise to a being eager to experience nature, to spend its days observing the world, and to experiencing new things.
Good. I like the positive, upbeat kind of overall theme of your uh spoken words here. I think it's really well done. Um, Anybody else want to add anything to Mansion's project or to his idea? Um, Vin, what do you mean on Powerpuff Girl vibe? I was like looking at that. I'm like, you got to explain that to me. And Jordan said, yeah, yeah, go ahead, Mansion. You want
Oh,
to
it's
say
like
something?
I think he meant by like in the show, there's this
Oh,
like
that's right.
scientist
Professor
guy who like
X. Yeah, I
like
mean
dumps a bunch of things in a pot.
to create, yeah, sugar and spice and everything nice. Yep. I tell you I grew up I loved the Powerpuff Girls growing up. That actually is one of the things that really got me into animation is the Powerpuff Girls, but not animation in the technical sense, but animation in the storytelling sense. Is watching the Powerpuff Girls. So Jordan says audio reminds me of Dungeon Meshi if you've watched that. I haven't, but I need to. Um All right, well done, Mansion, and looking forward to, because as you're seeing this, I can kind of see like how you're going to, visually come up with this and animate it. And if you're, that Powerpuff vibe of like creating something by mixing up these ingredients, I think that, you can totally work with that in a really fun and interesting way using animation. So, very good work, Mansion. Let's give Mansion a round of applause, everyone. All right, who is next? Because I lost count. Ace, you are up next.
So I'm 110% sure that I did this wrong.
No,
Um,
there's no right or wrong. Don't be, at least with
if
this
I-
one, there's no right or wrong. Let's see yeah, go ahead.
so I have two different audios, and then it won't let me upload just a JPEG of an extra reference I did of this specific character that I have that I want to do for this. Um, so, so I had like the entire thing planned out in my head already. Like so I've had like a really rough past, and so like I've two different I can do words recordings based on like trauma. One where you're like in your lowest and you're kind of like, wow, not you. This is specifically like how I dealt with it, obviously. And then I initially sent it to somebody in this class, and then I was like, this is cringy, and I deleted it, and I ended up posting it anyway, as one of them. And I
Okay.
I went through like so many iterations of this one script. Uh, and then I'm so mad that it won't let me upload this little reference because the little character, it's the little guy in my profile image as well, but its design is quite literally based on like how I've coped with trauma. In fact, the little reindeer is one of my references because like I have not since I've had such a bad time with people in the past that when I was younger, I really relied on stuffed animals to help me. And for
Uh-huh.
the past 5 years, I've carried this one stuffed animal with me everywhere I go. Oh, wow, my camera isn't working. Hold on. This little guy, and I love her, and she's perfect. Um,
Is that the drawing here that I have? That's her or him?
Yeah, in the extra reference I drew her in the design because I have an entire leg of basically just tattoos of her. And so I drew in my reference her in the style of the tattoos that where it's like a sticker sheet on the leg. Because those were also like a form of escapism. Um,
Okay.
and so it was technically or not technically the movements work for both scripts,
Mhm.
but depending on how you uh thank you. How, which audio is playing, it makes a lot more sense. You're either like falling into your misery and like, damn, I don't really want to be here anymore. Or I can do this and I will do it with my favorite like stuffed animal by my side. So that was the two iterations I had of my I recorded one of the audios like the day after class last week and I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I have to record something last night. So I recorded this other one. I was like, I don't know which one's better. And I was gonna like put it in a vote and see what the
Yeah,
class thinks.
we
Because
can we
either way,
can
it's gonna be a very similar um theme of movements, and then one has a very manic style of speaking and attempted evil laughter, which I can usually do really well. Apparently, not while reading a script that I wrote, because I knew I'd have to listen to my own voice, and it never sounds the same as you hear yourself because the vibrations in your own skull. Um,
Okay. And you have a lot of excuse me, identity um text here. So, and these are, you know, represent both of the recordings, right?
Yes, so one page has like the original really dark script over like the different parts of what I went through, like refining it, and then
Hmm.
the other page has like uh the one from yesterday where it's a lot more hopeful.
Refined, I would say. Hopeful. I
Yeah.
would say refined. Hopeful maybe as part of the refining process. Um, which one do you want to, would do we want to, do you want me to play first?
Uh Either one works. If the original one works fine. That one is the first one that pops up because it would
Okay.
not let me attach two things, so that's why there's a reply.
Yeah,
Canvas is
and
like,
if
I'm not gonna
you
let you do that.
and it didn't let you all do the JPEG files at all,
No,
even
it's
if you replied to yourself?
yeah, it said apparent if you try and upload a JPEG, the error it gives me is you just exceeded way too many words. There was not a single word in that message.
And you can't like even create a new reply thread and try it that way?
You know what? Hold up, let me try that real quick because I have a physical little I have the JPEG in my uh
Try that as a new, as a new thread, basically. Jordan says having a part of your animation have one of your real stuffed animal is very nice, especially since it's meaningful. I like that idea. And then, yeah, uploading the canvas. I try to make it so that you can just upload whatever you want. And I was told that we have 5 gigabytes of space in our class, and department-wise, like all of AVT has about 6 terabytes on Canvas, so space shouldn't be an issue. Because the space is an issue in my at the community college, where I teach with Canvas as well. But that's why I have them all do posted on YouTube and then submit the link that way. But I try replying to yourself. But while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and play the first one, and we can listen to that one. If I could get it to open, let's see, media player.
pain dreamers damned to this hellscape. Only by creating a path into the mind will a safe haven be found. Uh, we'll set it off together, right here. This journey to freedom away from this world of bloodshed and animosity. We'll escape. We will escape. I went a
I,
very different direction than the other individual who went with a positive.
okay. I I don't know because I like that. I like the fact that you are showing emotions and it's very it sounds very personal in terms of how you're presenting the audio or how you recorded it. So let's listen to the second one and see what the difference is. Y'all can definitely chime in. Please do chime in. And I notice, one of the things about these kind of critiques, it's always the same two people, three people. So more people, the better. Just, so you know. All right, so this is Ace's second one, and let's see what the difference is.
A pain dreamer that not only thinks about escaping agony, but actively creates a path both grounded in reality and imagination to do so, will be the one to flourish. Voiding your heart of hate and embracing your greatest joy will allow you to conquer the monsters of your past, present, and future. Even if it is just you and I, dear, freedom will be found. Agony will be conquered together.
I am a little conflicted. All right, what do you all say after listening to both the first one and the second one? Any anyone, or should I play them again? Anybody? Ace, I think you broke the class. Everybody's kind of quiet now.
Yeah.
Sasha says, I like the emotion from the first one. I was gonna say something, but I'm waiting for other people to cheer. I really ch chime in. It does remind Vin. That's a good point. It does kind of remind me of kind of like a trailer, for a movie.
Yeah, was there it took a lot of it is I have to I'm converting my image into a PDF right now because Canvas is not letting me upload the other thing.
Okay,
But
that's
it was it was
um. I'm gonna typically what I say is that it usually your first idea is, the better one, but also it might be that sometimes um your second idea is a little bit more refined because you have some time to think about it and things like that, you know. So I just like the presentation and the emotions on that first one. On the second recording, I feel like you're a little bit more restrained. So that's my opinion. But as I say, ultimately you're the artist and it's going to be up to you to figure out which one you want to use. But I really think the Sunho, you said I really like the emotion could be hard top fit in your motion video. So you might end up finding that, as you're working on the animation, Ace, that's gonna be the thing to your animation's gonna determine which audio clip you use. Does that make sense? Sometimes that happens. Like you have two different versions, three different, however many different versions. Then when you start doing the actual animation and it kind of is like, okay, it's definitely begging for the second audio or the first audio or, even the fourth version or whatever. Does that make sense? Not just to A's, but to everyone else. Because sometimes, it's like so hard to pick and figure out.
yeah, I
Um,
gotcha.
and this is Ace's drawing. This is your stuffed animal. And who is the who is the character here? That's, that's also on your drawing there. That's your original character, but is that representing you?
Yes, okay, so Risk is a character specifically based on trauma. The color would also help, but their like fur pattern is gray to represent like a morally gray standing.
Mm.
The doll-like nature is both because I like dolls and then the feeling of, getting thrown around like a doll by, people who would take advantage of you. Um,
I hope you mean
the
figuratively, not actually physically getting thrown around.
Oh yeah, well, yes, that yeah. Um, and then like the antennas because they're kind of a bug. Like you always feel like you're bugging people.
Ah,
Um,
uh-huh.
and then they're canonically like 2 foot tall to represent feeling small. Um,
Interesting. That might be one of those, characters that you end up developing, and it could be interesting. And this could be a really good start as your this first project as your alter ego kind of thing, or your, not even alter ego. What's the other word? Kind of like your, you know, I guess alter ego, like someone that represents you but is not you, but it
oh,
is you.
that's 100% what they are. And I've already started writing a comic with them. So this is a character I am very fond of creating. Uh,
Okay. Um, well, like I said, I'm not going to pick. I personally like the emotion and the presentation of the first one, but I also think the second one is very refined. So I'm conflicted, and I'm not going to choose for you. You could talk, as you all in class can probably chime in. Some people did chime in, and it kind of feels like a tie, to be honest. So uh, Ace, you're gonna kind of have to, choose. Or, in my opinion, you can probably mix and match both of them, but I think just the first one, the audio just and the emotions come out a little bit more stronger and more raw, which I really like, and it might be something um, that you can adapt to your animation. So that's my take on it. Other people in the class will have their opinion, and don't all jump all at once to type in your opinion here, but that's where I'm going to leave it at. Is that okay?
yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, let's give Ace a round of applause. And Ace, great voice character, not acting, but great voice, emotional and representation over there on your recordings. All right, you all, it is 12 o'clock, and I think who is left? We have Amelia, Andrea, Claudia, Darian, Glenda, and Louis. So it's a little bit more than half the class. Do you all want to take a 10-minute break? Is that enough? Thumbs up if it is, or thumbs down if it's not. All right, so it is 12:05. Let's take a 10-minute break, so that means we'll be back at 12:15.